my screen visible? The presentation visible to you?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. For me, any technology is useful if it is able to solve society's problem. And at this juncture, I think creating a equitable, fast-growing, and safer society is a priority. And I think right now, there are various technologies which are converging and which are emerging, which can help us do that. So I'll discuss very briefly technology landscape that is happening right now and how it is going to impact the society. I'll give some examples. So just a historical background, and most of you might be knowing this already, that the industry revolutions have gone through multiple phases, and right now we are on Industry 4.0. So from mechanization and electrification, from automation, now we have moved to AI, ML, and IoT. And this is again, you are the generation of smartphones, and you are very well aware of the growth there. But the growth that is going to come in future is even more staggering. And it will be not only just smartphones, but smartwatches and all other wearables that will be creating data for us and also for machines. And IoT applications are expected to grow very rapidly in next 5 to 7 years time.
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
Yes.
Actually, the students are not able to see the presentation on full screen. So
let me try to make it bigger.
Yes, sir.
Is this better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the IoT growth you can see is going to be at a very fast pace of 22% CAGR. Is everything all right? I think somebody has raised a hand. Snigdha has raised hand. Yes, Snigdha. Okay, fine. And right now, in terms of 5G, there are 20 networks which are operating as of end of last year globally. But by 2027, it is expected that nearly 3/4 of the world population will be on 5G. And there will be about 4.4 billion subscriptions of mobile on 5G. And these are the advantages of 5G: latency decrease, connection density. It is a multifold increase over 4G on various parameters. And India, we expect that it's going to take strong leadership in 5G in next few years. And that will be driven mainly by IoT growth. And 5G IoT will be married with AI. So what AI does? AI helps you make personalized experience, unbiased decision making. It enhances process efficiencies, manages recurring tasks, and 24/7 availability. While IoT gives the inputs for the AI, basically machine-to-machine communication, real-time data, improved productivity, and better customer service. So now these two will converge. We already have a lot of IoT inside things like washing machines in your house, in the lock. And there are examples of in India of progressive farmers using IoT and AI on cattle. So they have used devices like smartwatches on cows to see if the cow is having fever or not, or if cow is pregnant. Those kind of things are monitored even in India right now using IoT devices. And there is potentially possibility of having predictive road and bridge repairs using IoT and AI as a combination. And government is discussing these possibilities. So how it works? It basically, there are sensors, there is a communication network. Sensors are the IoT devices. Communication network is 5G or satellite communication. Then data is stored and then analyzed using AI. And then it gives an action point for the relevant use case. So what all these things means that technology will be available at a much cheaper cost, which affordable to many people, which will create efficient distribution of wealth. 5G will drive the next wave of tech growth in India and globally. There is enhanced user experience through customized services. So we can expect a better user experience. Just let us say, if you open Amazon right now, you get to see products that you have purchased earlier, or you are searching for those products earlier, because Amazon stores your data and you get better user experience. But with IoT and AI, the same experience can be potentially in future can be given by a physical store, where the physical store, when you enter the physical store, based on your past purchases and your past browsing, they can guide you to the relevant offers inside the physical store. Let's say a Geo store or whatever. And at the same time, it will help companies make more profit. And things like smart home will increase lifestyle. So what are the applications of this AI and IoT for better society that I'm referring to? The smart medical systems to track health of family members. So right now, let us say in existing mobile phones or in the smartwatches, we have facilities of tracking if the person has tripped and fallen down, or in the latest iPhone 14, there is a facility of accident if the user of the mobile phone is involved in the accident. And those things will become more commonplace, where IoT is married with AI, where it will be able to predict potential heart attacks in next 1 hour or 2 hours, or any such existences. The machines will be able to predict and warn the users of impending medical situations. Agri-tech is going to be revolutionized. I already mentioned about the dairy revolution that is happening in India in some places using AI and IoT. It will spread across, where agriculture will be completely transformed, where by using smart sensors linked to an AI-based system, where it will guide the farmers as to how much fertilizer to use, which kind of pesticides to use, optimized time to harvest. I can give another example of how this is used. So there are now tractors, automated tractors available in US, where you let the tractor on the field, it goes around the field automatic on its own autonomously. But over and above that, it is fitted with a camera, and the camera sees the various crops, and it identifies the crops that the farmer is growing versus the weed that is growing. And then the tractor automatically spreads the the weed killing chemical only on the weed. So earlier the weed chemicals was sprayed, weed killing chemical was sprayed across the entire farm. Now the machines do the job of spreading it exactly on the weeds. So the consumption of the pesticides, or not pesticides, the weed chemicals has reduced by 90% in such cases. Cost has come down, effectiveness has gone up. This is one example of how IoT and AI can work together. This is another commercial example of one of the German companies where they are planning to use sensors for growing plants inside greenhouse using IoT and get better results. They are claiming that disease infection risk will be reduced by 92% because of better predictive abilities. So it has other applications of, let's say, better protection of animals by using drones and cameras linked to smart devices. It can prevent poaching. This is one thing that we are working in Decimal Point, where using AI and IoT devices, the police is able to track and predict criminal activities. So all this technology are converging, which will help police do their job better. And smart signaling, where based on the traffic conditions as they evolve, the signals will change, and various warnings can be given to vehicles based on situations like potholes and others. And these are going to come in next few years, maybe 3 or 4 to 5 years time. I already mentioned that government is working on creating a road repair predictive model using drones, IoT devices linked to 5G as satellite communication, and AI. Smart metering solutions for variety of charging requirements as well as water requirement is possible using AI and IoT. Retail sector, I give example of this already to you, that right now IoT is using retail sector just in the tag, which prevents some people from stealing the goods from the stores. But not only that, it can potentially do other activities like restocking, misplaced product detection, and optimized checkouts. Supply chain optimization will happen because of IoT devices, and I expect between 50 to 60% cost reduction because of using IoT in supply chain. Other things that will be added to this is satellite communication. You must be reading about Elon Musk launching hundreds of satellites. India also now launching a lot of satellites into sky, and that will make satellite communication also very feasible in especially in remote areas where the mobile connectivity is currently poor. And this revolution is just around the corner. Maybe in 2-3 years time, this revolution will happen, and this will be again will be married to a DLT. Now, the advantage of DLT is that it's a immutable record, and things can be stored permanently and analyzed in terms of changes over a number of years, which will lead to intelligent automation across all the sectors that I mentioned. and next thing would be then, based on all this information, financing of all the activity will become far more easier, because the risks can be assessed in all the financing activities far easier than it is happening currently. This slide is self-explanatory for you. I was mentioning this just two slides ahead ago, that OneWeb is a company owned by Bharti Global, and they are going to launch a number of satellites, and it is going to help India in terms of better connectivity across the remote parts of the country. What we are doing as a company in AI and IoT, here we are aiming to create a positive impact on society. Whatever efforts we do in bringing AI and IoT together is to ensure that Indian society becomes far more efficient than currently we are. We are working with various stakeholders in this to make it happen, and we are taking various innovative paths. Not all of those I can discuss in public forum, but you can watch out over next 2-3 years. Humongous innovation will happen, not only from decimal point side, but from other companies also, because of all these technologies converging. So like some examples that we can give. So it was for a large European company we did this project, where it is a life saving device used in the homes and medical device. And so the problem statement was that we should be able to predict the failure of the device maybe one day in advance, so that the device could be safely exchanged for a better device. And we did a IoT based AI project where, based on the noise generated by the motor, we were able to predict the future failures of the medical devices. Just one example that I could describe as to what are the projects we are doing in this area. So this was the brief presentation. I took about 20 minutes on the presentation.